special circumstances might give us one of the best races of the season so far. 8 races in, we've had 8 different winners. Round 9 is almost guaranteed to give us something special. It's the last race here at the EuroSpeedway Lausitzring, and it's the first time that we've had to assign the grid order based on points. Qualifying was rained out yesterday, so as a result, the points order has determined the starting lineup. So to explain how this works, you see Gerard Perth is sitting on pole position, his first time on pole position this season. All of the full-time drivers will be assorted first, and they will be assorted in reverse order of their championship standings. So whoever's the points leader will start last of all the full-time entries on the grid. The person that's last of the full-time runners will begin first. Any substitute drivers, any part-time entries will then be ordered at the back of the field based on their correct points position. So Jesus Cristobal has the most points scored of all of these substitute or part-time entries in the field today. So he is starting 22nd. It's a bit confusing, but as we go through the field, hopefully you'll see what we mean. It's the Allianz 300. As I mentioned, it's at Lausitz for the last time. Lausitz has been bought by Audi to be used as a test facility, which means it has been closed to public operations and events after this year. Gerard Perth is on pole position, and alongside him is Patrick Marcelli. In row 2 is both of the Apex Racing Team cars, Cody Blackman in 3rd, Ronald Walker in 4th position. So there's your look at Ronald Walker. Then you have Ray Taylor and Simona Leroux. That is your row 3. Row 4 is Alicia Kovalkiewicz off to the right-hand side of your screen, and Tyler Parker starting in 8th position. 9th position is Esther Hofson. 10th place is David Wessel. 11th place is Christina Spinoza, you see off to the right, and 12th place is Cameron Jackson looking dead center right now on your screen. Then you have another Cat Dove Racing car, Kaylee Zappa on the inside, and then Keisha Fox on the outside. Getting further back in the field, now you're dealing with cars that are top 10 in points. You have Isabella Espinoza and Nicole Lechty. You have Kinemitsu Kinoshita and Natalia Kurachenko. Sakura Ishibashi and Andrew Draco. That is 2nd and 3rd in points. And then the points leader starting in 21st position, Stephanie Porter Kelly. She's got a 20-point lead going into this race over Andrew Draco. It'll be interesting to see if she's able to hold it this far back in the field. It'll be interesting to see who all moves the fastest through the field today. 148 laps is what the scheduled distance is set to be. The best of the part-time runners, Jesus Cristobal sitting in the number 33 car, will be starting 22nd. 23rd and 24th, you're looking at 24th place, Jace Clark. Not Jace Clark, it's Astrid Crane. Jace Clark is not yet cleared. So Astrid Crane is still in the 7 car for at least one more race. Thomas Rogers filling in for BK Glover in his own vehicle, the number 2 Samsung Team Impulse car. And then a special moment. The 22 car is finally back on track after Indianapolis, where we lost Giuliano Ansaldi. A new debutant, Lucien Lachapelle from Annette, France, making his Champ Car debut at a very hallowed and infamous venue to end off our European leg. He's starting 25th. Perfect place to begin learning the intricacies of the Champ Car World Series.
Drivers, start your engines!
Just in time for the command, engines will fire. And now we're beginning to roll. 148 laps is the scheduled race distance. They're expecting 3 pit stops in this race. One before lap 50, one before lap 1 before lap 95, and then one before the end of the race. Of all of the mock practice runs, no one was able to make a full third of the race distance. Of all the cars that have the ability to make it the distance, they tend to be Honda-powered cars. So cars like Marcelli and the black and yellow might have a bit of a leg to stand on in the later stages of this race. It's 300 miles, 148 laps. This track is just over 2 miles in length with the oval configuration, and it is packed for the last time. The last time the oval will be used here in Lausitz. We talked about Audi purchasing the track, and at the end of the year, they'll start converting it into a test facility. So here we are. We are green in Lausitz. Gerard Perth leads the way. And it's 3 wide behind him as they come out of turn 1. Still 3 wide as everyone tries to sort it out. Marcelli's dropped down. He's dropped down to 4th. And they are still battling big time. Second on back. Ray Taylor trying to charge up through the field that he had to take care of. Cody Blackman holds second. And it is a mess. 5th on back. It's still 3 wide in multiple rows. Everyone trying to figure out where they need to be. But right now, it's early mayhem. A lot of the front runners trying to charge through the field as well. See Andrew Draco. Him and his teammate David Wessel are both in this screenshot here. David Wessel in the gold and black. Andrew Draco in the inverted colors. In fact, both Phantom Motorsports cars are now side by side. Those 2 cars received an upgrade prior to Lausitz. The team wanted it to be done before Valkenburg, but they had to wait a little bit extra time, but the upgrade is on the cars now. And David Wessel's making that outside lane work. Multiple spots jumped. He's just now behind Christina Espinosa, and there is a crash in the back. Caution is out, and that is a huge crash. That's Kovalkiewicz flipping end over end. A huge crash. Multiple cars involved. That is Thomas Rogers missing a wheel. I believe Ishibashi might have been part of that. We're not sure. We couldn't identify all of the cars involved. But an early yellow due to the stack up. So the caution is out for a very, very vicious crash. Coming to lap 5. Or coming to lap 4, excuse me. Seems like Porticelli may have been involved in it. We'll have to wait and see. That is Kovalkiewicz. And we're going to try to take a look to see what happened. So we're going to try to get a good look of this. It's Kovalkiewicz on the bottom of the racetrack behind her teammate Keisha Fox. There's not really a good look coming down this front straightaway. She understeers. Either she understeers or she thinks she's clear. That is Cristobal looks like involved. That it was Ishibashi. Porticelli gets spun around. Thomas Rogers is underneath Kovalkiewicz. You see Astrid Crane trying to go by. Try to get a better look at this. Well, it seems like everyone else had a bit of a timid hit. The biggest concerns would be on Sakura Ishibashi and Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Ishibashi's hardest impact would have been with a concrete wall. There is no safer barrier here. So there's no energy absorbing foam or any barrier that absorbs impact. And then you see the secondary impacts. You can see Thomas Rogers tries to roll, comes to a stop. We're going to ride on board with him to see what his perspective looks like. We're not going to do onboards of Kovalkiewicz's until we know that Kovalkiewicz is okay. It seems like Rogers sees something and comes to a stop. We need to see if Crane was involved here. Crane driving the number 7, and everyone's expecting this to be her last race in the 7 car for Black Rose Racing, but we're not sure. See her teammate Nicole Leckie off to the high side, off to the right. So the accident happens here. Does she get through it? She does get through it. She checks up and makes it through. And you see the awful flip that Kovalkiewicz takes. Looks like Crane is out of the race, though. No, she's not out of the race. She's still in. In fact, there's Crane now. She's behind Lucien Lachapelle. Nicole Leckie. Then you have Natalia Korochenko, Kenmitsu Kinoshita, Keisha Fox. We're going backwards here, so we're going towards the front. But Keisha Fox, the remaining Cherokee GP car. Kaylee Zappa. Andrew Draco, Cameron Jackson, Simona LaRoe, Tyler Parker, Esther Hofson, Isabel Espinoza, Ronald Walker, David Wessel, Christina Espinoza, Ray Taylor, Gerard Purse. So it's an LM competition 1-2. So we're going to have one more lap with caution. But that was a vicious crash. 4 cars out of this race. You see them at the bottom of the table. It is Jesus Cristobal is out of the race. Sakura Ishibashi's out. Thomas Rogers, and then Alicia Kovalkiewicz, who had the nastiest ride. Obviously, whenever we get an update on Kovalkiewicz's condition, we will let you guys know. However, they did deem that there was no damage to the catch fencing, so they didn't stop the race. Kovalkiewicz will be en route to a local hospital. So here we go. Short approach is going to lead us to green. Pace car is in. And we are green. It'll be interesting to see how many cars were involved in that accident, how many are still wounded. Ray Taylor's immediately going for the race lead, gets past his teammate. Ray Taylor now up front. Talked about at the beginning of the broadcast how Ray Taylor is one of the 8 drivers that have won a race before today. The streak is currently that it's 8 for 8 in different race winners. Ray Taylor could spoil that. Likewise, David Russell could keep it going. There's 2 rookies sitting in the top 5 right now. It's David Russell and Gerard Perth. Gerard Perth missed 3 races due to injury at Homestead, Miami. He's sitting 3 wide between 2 of the Agia cars. Christina Espinosa is going to get away with 3rd. But now the battle's going to be for 5th. Esther Hofson on the high side over Isabel Espinosa. So Hofson's going to get up. So looking at the top 5, David Russell has taken control of this race rather quickly. Christina Espinosa trying to get up there to challenge for the race lead. Christina Espinosa, one of the most familiar drivers with the Lausitzring. She'd like to be the last one to win on the oval before it is decommissioned. Right now it's David Russell for Phantom Motors in the number 14. Trying to become another rookie to win it. Jace Clark was the first rookie to win the season. He won at Brno. He's been the only rookie to win so far this season. I mentioned how Phantom Motors got upgrades for Lausitz. They wanted them for Valkenburg. And it showed. It showed that they were missing them. Their pace was definitely not where it was supposed to be, not where it was expected. This is what they were expecting. This is what they were talking about. So right now it's David Russell leading Ray Taylor, Christina Espinosa, Gerard Perth, Esther Hofson, Isabel Espinosa, Tyler Parker's up to 7th, Cameron Jackson sitting 8th, Simona LaRoe 9th, Andrew Draco down to 10th. And that's what all of this looks like. Draco's trying to get past LaRoe for 9th now, and will do so rather easily. Then you have Ronald Walker, Kinomitsu Kinoshita, who won in Valkenburg, Natalia Kurachenko, Kaylee Zappa, Astrid Crane, Nicole Leckie, so both Black Rose cars sitting nose to tail. Keisha Fox has dropped. You have Cody Blackman, Lucian LaChapelle, who started last, Patrick Marcelli, and Steffi Porticelli, who was involved in the accident. Seems like they've done a lot to repair her car to keep her relatively on pace. Every point is beginning to matter for that 84 team. All eyes right now are on David Russell. as he heads into turn 1 to complete, well, to start lap 16. You see that it has definitely paced itself out now as drivers begin to go through the tires. Interestingly enough, with that last caution, it does now put all of the drivers on a 2-stop window for those that did not stop for one reason or another during the caution. So everyone is relatively going to be on the same strategy when pit stops begin to happen shortly after lap 50 now. For those that are tuning in just now, you've already missed one major event, a massive crash to start lap 4 between Alicia Kovalkiewicz, who went for a massive ride. You still see the skid marks on the front stretch. Alicia Kovalkiewicz went for a massive flip. And also involved was Steffi Porter-Kelly, who's still in this race, as well as Sakura Ishibashi, Thomas Rogers, Jesus Cristobal, and others. Of those 5 cars involved, again, Porter-Kelly is the only one still running, and she is last in the field at the moment. She is sitting 21st. Ishibashi has been cleared. Thomas Rogers has been cleared. And Jesus Cristobal was able to drive the car back to pit lane under his own power. So the biggest question mark right now is over that of Kovalkiewicz, who has been taken to a nearby hospital. Near here in Klettwitz. Right now it's the David Wessel show. Number 14. Making the golden black. Looking very mighty. We're starting lap 21 of 148. It's Wessel, then it's Ray Taylor sitting in a very distant second right now. See, he's definitely holding up the 48 of Christina Espinoza. Espinoza could possibly reel Wessel back in, but she's stuck behind the Mercedes power. It's a Honda, Mercedes, Honda, 1, 2, 3. Then it's another Mercedes in 4th position, and then another Honda in 5th. 6th place is a Honda as well. That is Esther Hobson. You see Gerard Perth move to the inside. There is an engine failure. That is Ray Taylor. Ray Taylor with an engine failure, and he holds up Christina Espinoza. That allows Perth to go by. Ray Taylor's going to have to go the entire 2 miles back. Can he make it? That is the big question mark. If he cannot make it, it doesn't seem like he can. He has lost drive. We're about to have another yellow. Because there's David Wessel now. He's almost back past turn 1. There's going to be a yellow. Did they not throw it? They didn't throw it. So we're still green. Very bold extraction call by the track crews. This is a race that is being co-sanctioned by the European Racing Commission, the ERC. A very bold call by the track crews here in Lausitz. It could have been potentially very dangerous after we've already seen a very dangerous moment already this race. Very questionable decision there, but we stay green. So we're going to keep a look at David Wessel. He's got an over 3-second gap. It's Isabel Espinosa now sitting in second. So both of the Aguirre cars are top 5. But Gerard Perth has turned it up a little bit. So is Andrew Draco. Phantom Motorsports and Escuria Aguirre are definitely out to duel here in Lausitz. LM Competition are not having a good day. 2 of their cars are now out of this race. Jesus Cristobal out on lap 4. And now Ray Taylor out on lap 21. David Wessel setting the pace. That is a almost half a second gap he pulled on Isabel Espinosa that lap alone. 4.21 from 3.8. And now the yellow is out. And we're not sure why. A very late yellow call means that 4.2 second gap that is about to expand, we would assume, it stayed stagnant. But that gap is now gone. 20 laps of effort now gone. And a snap, and a very irrational decision, once again, by the ERC officials here in Lausitz. And that is a relatively big deal. In the United States, the sanctioning body, the North American Motor Racing Association, or NAMRA, they're the ones that employ the track crews and the officials. For different races outside of North America, the local sanctioning bodies play a part. So in Motegi, it was the Racing Federation of Asia and Oceania. Here in Europe, it's the European Racing Commission. But there is something seriously off-kilter about that call to bring out the caution multiple laps after Ray Taylor had already been moved from the racing surface on a very live racetrack. But anyways, now that throws off the whole pit sequence. Because everyone has to make 2 more stops to make it to the end of the race. Everyone had to try to make it to about lap 48. Or lap 49 to make it to the end of the race. Obviously, most people are going to jump on the opportunity to get fresh tires, especially the likes of David Wessel. Wessel stays in the lead. Then it's Isabel Espinosa, Gerard Perth, then Andrew Draco, then Christina Espinosa. So the top 5 doesn't necessarily change. Esther Hofson, Cameron Jackson, Natalia Kurachenko, Tyler Parker. That is Simona Leroux, Astrid Crane, Kamitsu Kinoshita, Kaylee Zappa, Keisha Fox, Lucian LaChapelle, Ronald Walker. There's a spin. That is Tyler Parker involved. That is Tyler Parker and Natalia Kurachenko. That spun out exiting pit lane. What happened there? And I guess now the bigger question is, Tyler Parker and Kurachenko able to return to their original spots? It looks like they will be able to. Yeah, it looks like they both will be able to. They both spun in the grass. So there's Kurachenko. Was Kurachenko not able to... Kurachenko was not able to come into her pit stall. I don't believe. It seemed like she was getting ready to come into pit lane. No, this is Tyler Parker. This is... Wow. Now, we know that Tyler Parker had issues with Striker Motorsports after what happened in Homestead, where both Porticelli and Kurachenko were involved in several incidents at Homestead. I don't know if that was a part of it. So this race here in Lausitz has already shown to be something. So here we are under yellow for the second time. What we believe, what we're being told is that there was oil on track near where Taylor slowed down, and the issue that they had was that oil could possibly stay on the tires going into one of the corners, and they wanted to get it cleaned up. Again, begs the question, why wasn't the yellow immediately thrown? But regardless, they've gotten it out of the way now. The yellow will be coming in this time. We'll be getting ready to go back to green at the end of this lap. The lights are off the safety car. And we're only on lap 30 of this race. You see Ray Taylor is out because of a clutch issue, so it looks like transmission is what caused the failure for Ray Taylor. So we've got 20 cars left running out of 25 that started. Lap 4 incident claimed 4 cars, and obviously Ray Taylor retiring on his own. One thing is still certain, that is David Wessel is leading. However, he's going to have a bit of a challenge now on his hands. Looks like Gerard Perth might be having issues. Gerard Perth is coming down to the bottom. No. There's something wrong. Is Ishibashi coming in? Is there something wrong with not Ishibashi, with Isabel Espinosa? Isabel Espinosa is coming into pit lane. Number 36 of Isabel Espinosa, from second position, coming into pit lane as the race is about to go back to green flag. We're green now. Espinosa's in pit lane. These laps are only 33, almost 34 seconds. So Espinosa's going to go a lap down at least. Gerard Perth is going to give Wessel a bit of a run. Question as to if Perth has the ability to actually keep up with David Wessel, but he's going to give it a shot. If anything, Perth is going to try to keep Christina Espinosa, behind him. Gerard Perth returned for the Valkenburg and didn't get to do much with it. Only got to complete the formation lap before he had to retire the car. So he's trying to make more of his second running since his return from injury. And he's holding off both Christina Espinosa and Andrew Draco. So 2 rookies are holding off 2 former IndyCar World Champions. See, there's Espinosa now on her own. David Wessel is already got half a second on Gerard Perth. Then it's Christina Espinosa, Andrew Draco, Esther Hofson, then Cameron Jackson, Tyler Parker was able to resume where he was. So was Kurachenko. Then it's Simona Leroux, Astrid Crane. Astrid Crane sitting in 10th position at the moment. Kaylee Zappa, Kimitsu Kinoshita. So Catnip Racing having a good showing. And that is Keisha Fox getting past Ronald Walker. We'll have to keep an eye on the 62 car of Keisha Fox as we wait for information on Alicia Kovalkiewicz after her nasty accident at the beginning of this race on lap 4. It's 3 wide further on back. There's Lucien Lachapelle in his first race. Then it's Ronald Walker, Nicole Lechty, and Patrick Marcelli. And then you also see Stephanie Porter-Kelly, the points leader coming into this race. She may not be holding the points lead at the end of it. Then you see Cody Blackman. He's dropped down to 20th. Well, 19th. Isabel Espinosa sitting 20th. And it's a 3 wide for second, as both Espinosa and Draco get past Gerard Perth. We've never really had the ability to watch Draco take on Espinosa. 2 former world champions, as I mentioned before. Christina Espinosa, one of the greatest drivers in Champ Car history. Multiple Indy 500 wins, multiple IndyCar World Championships. Her accolades go on and on and on. And as she prepares to turn 34 at the end of this year, how much left does she have to do? One of the greatest drivers to have never raced in F1. But right now it is a Phantom Motors 1-2. Small little team out of Canada has never had a 1-2 finish. They could be working on it right now. It'll be interesting to see how they handle team dynamic. David Wessel and Andrew Draco have not spent a lot of time this season battling on track. But they're both now in a position where they might have to. For Andrew Draco, may not be so important for him right now. As it stands, if the race were to finish right now, Draco would become the new points leader. Those extra 10 points could be very beneficial, though. But again, for Draco, it has to be a reminder that both Sakura Ishibashi and Stephanie Porter-Kelly are not guaranteed to finish well. Ishibashi is actually already out of the race. Stephanie Porter-Kelly has damage and is off pace by a significant margin. Draco is closing in on Wessel, however. Gap is down to less than a quarter of a second. You see the gap now. It's continuing to shrink. It is a Honda 1-2-3. Gerard Perth's already lost Espinosa. The question becomes, is Isabel Espinosa going to try to hold the leaders up to bring her aunt into the mix? Isabel, the daughter of Miguel Espinosa, the niece of Christine Espinosa, has spent most of the season being the better of the two Agia cars. However, the last couple weeks, that role's been reversed. Teammates side by side for the lead. This is going into turn 3. Bussel's made the high line work. He's going to defend the lead here. Draco's going to have to hold on a second for a little bit longer. Jean-Claude Gabriel has to be watching from the pit lane. A bit anxious. Golden rule is don't wreck your teammate. Dave Wessel's not been in a position to lead. He's not been in a position to defend from his world champion teammate. Likewise for Draco, this is the first time he's been within an actual opportunity to possibly walk away with a race if everything falls correctly. So here we are. Top 3 under a blanket. Christina Espinosa has to apply pressure. Andrew Draco has to apply pressure to Wessel. Wessel has to try to sustain all of it. Draco with a run. He's not going to be able to go for it. Espinosa closer and closer to the gearbox of Andrew Draco. How much closer do you want to get? And you see how much further back it is. So we're looking at 4th place. That is Gerard Perth. Draco's going to try to make a move for the lead again. Seems like there might have been a little bit of a stalling out by Wessel as he tries to manage Isabel Espinosa in front of him. He's going to keep the lead. Caliber, World Championship caliber defense from David Wessel so far in this race. Using the outside lane as an amazing defensive tool to keep the momentum on his side, exiting the corners. Teammates almost came together there. Wessel's trying with all his might to maintain the lead. Andrew Drake is trying so hard to get by. See, looking ahead, there's Porter Kelly at the last of the lead lap cars. There's Cody Blackman. Then you see the small group here. It's LaChapelle, Fox, Kenoshita, Ronald Walker, and then Nicole Lechty slowly slipping out of that group. Asher Crane on the other end, trying to keep up with everyone else. You have Simona Leroux, Kaylee Zappa, Esther Hofson. You have Natalia Kurachenko, Cameron Jackson. Marcelli's in the pit lane. Marcelli's season continues to go from bad to worse. Don't believe that is a planned pit stop. However, it is in the right cycle to make it on potentially one more stop. But this is where the leader is at. See, Wessel is now within the draft. When we talk about the draft and the slipstream, there is a bubble area where it is really difficult for another car to get within a certain gap. You want to be able to get close enough to be able to use the slipstream as an advantage, like what Wessel is doing right now. But there is a point where the dirty air that comes off of the car, the wake of the car, the slipstream, is so turbulent that it's hard to drive through. What you're seeing right now is Wessel, he's navigated that bubble, he's gotten within a reasonable range, and he's trying to drive by Espinosa now. And it looks like he will be able to do so going into turn 3 this time. No. Now he's in a compromised position because now it's Andrew Draco and Christina Espinosa right back on him. The top three are still battling away. We're expecting pit stops will be about 20 laps from now. So now David Wessel has to try it again. Wessel cannot spend too much time putting himself in a compromised position. They are using the softer compound tires. This compound is normally used for the road and street courses. However, they brought it to Lausitz. Firestone and Horizon believe that this would provide a better race. For better or for worse, it has provided something more intense. Another reminder that in some series, if you're shown a blue flag, you have to move over for the leaders. In Champ Car, that is not the case. The blue flag is simply a notification that the race leaders or faster cars are behind you and they're going to attempt to pass. Both the Phantom Motorsports cars trying to get by. It's going to almost be a three-wide situation. David Wessel uses the outside line to his advantage. Andrew Draco almost loses second place. Could still lose second place to Christina Espinosa. What was a very daring lunge to try to take a 2-for-1 has almost cost him. He's going to clear Espinosa here. So Christina Espinosa has to stay in third place. And Andrew Draco has to regather. Because he spent a lot of momentum trying to make that happen. And now there's a lap car between the race leader and the rest of the field. Isabel Espinosa trying to get her lap back. If something happens, she could end up being back on the lead lap here. See, Marcelli's out with a clutch issue, so another bad race for Marcelli. Begin to wonder when it's going to get better. You see, Isabel Espinosa is the only car one lap down. She's definitely trying to get her lap back, so if the caution comes out, she'll be back on the lead lap and able to compete. There's no such thing as a wave around in Champ Car. If you're behind the race leader when the caution comes out, you do not get to rejoin the back of the field. So it's going to be imperative for Isabel Espinosa in the next 15 laps to try to get back around. Looking at Andrew Draco sitting in second. David Wessel leads. Here's two more cars that could definitely be in jeopardy of being lapped at some point. Stephanie Porter Kelly entered the race as the points leader, and then Cody Blackman. Definitely a more subdued section of the race. Most intense has been up front. Not very often that occurs. Draco's going to try to get by Espinosa one more time, again entering turn 3. Turn 3 seems to be the Achilles heel for Andrew Draco. Can't make it happen again, but he's able to hold off Espinosa. Meanwhile, if you look at the bottom of the table in the top 10, Keisha Fox for Cherokee GP has made it into the top 10, as has Astrid Crane. Two of the Cat Dove race cars also sitting top 10. That is Cameron Jackson in 7th and Kaylee Zappa in 8th. Those that remember from 2 weeks ago in Valkenburg. All 3 Cat Dove racing cars finished in the top 10, finished in the top 5. Beginning to have that feeling that the team based out of Kyoto, having a feeling that they're beginning to click. Kenosha's the first one on the team to win this year. Kaylee Zappa's a proven winner. Cameron Jackson's a proven winner. Seems like their level of driving, their level of participation this season has climbed with every successful race. Lausitz is not an easy track. As you can see, it's a track where the inside can work, but the outside is almost impossible to get around, especially if someone's using it as a defense. But as you can see, the inside lane, hugging that curbing, is the preferred driving line if you're not battling. Draco's now back within battling distance of Isabel Espinosa. And you know that Isabel Espinosa is trying her hardest to get her aunt up into second. You'd almost have to think that if the elder Espinosa was in second place, where Draco is right now, they would have definitely swapped positions. There would have definitely been some team orders in play. But that has not yet been the case. So Isabel's just holding on to David Wessel's draft. We're within 10 laps of the pit window opening for green flag pit stops. Isabel Espinosa are going to try to make a move on the inside. Andrew Draco is going to be smart about it and move to the outside. Turn 2. It's David Wessel on the outside, and Andrew Draco is going to follow suit. Phantom Motors is going to take a 1-2, and they're going to clear Isabel Espinosa. And now Draco is going to try to go for the lead. Interesting strategy there. Isabel Espinosa has to check out. Now she's going to have to let Christina Espinosa go. She's going to try to make it as difficult as possible for Andrew Draco. Isabel's trying so hard. Now she's holding up her own teammate. So right now it's a Phantom Motors 1-2, and Isabel needs to let Christine go. See how crazy the top 10 looks. Keisha Fox is out of the top 10 now. Lucian LaChapelle in his first race started last, sitting 9th. He's sitting right behind Asher Crane, who we're assuming is in the last race of her deal before Jace Clark is supposed to return at Toronto. LaChapelle going to try to get by Crane here on the inside. Doesn't seem like it's going to work. But he's going to stay ahead of Kaylee Zappa. So it's David Wessel, the rookie, trying to make his first race win happen. Then it's 2017 IndyCar World Champion Andrew Draco sitting second. Then it is multiple-time IndyCar World Champion Christina Espinosa sitting in a distant third right now behind her teammate, who is one lap down, the only car one lap down so far at the moment. Stephanie Porter Kelly entered the race as the points leader. She was involved in an incident on lap 4, and she now sits in danger of falling a lap down, and as it stands, she will not have the points lead exiting this race. Lap 4 accident took out Sakura Ishibashi, another championship contender, Thomas Rogers, Jesus Cristobal, and then Alicia Kovacevic, who went for the wildest ride we've seen arguably all season, and her condition currently is unknown. She's been taken to a hospital in nearby Klettwitz, and we are waiting an update on her condition as we race here. Ray Taylor's also retired from the race with an engine issue, and so is Patrick Marcelli. As we're watching a battle for the lead now between teammates, Andrew Draco trying once again to use the bottom into turn 3 to get by. Softer compound tires are wearing a little bit more, making the outside line more prone for defensive maneuvers like that. You saw the Agia car sitting side by side. Isabel Espinosa in the light blue and white. Christina Espinosa in the traditional middle light car. And there's a caution. Yellow is out. We're not sure what it's for. But a yellow's out. Looks like it might be for... It might be for Nicole Lechty. Lechty's off the pace. We'll have to take a look at that. So we'll take a look at Lechty's lap here. This is the lap that something might have happened on. She's closing up on Kenoshta, Hobson, and Fox. You see Ronald Walker's a pretty far distance away. This incident happens in turn 3. Oh, there it is. Oh, that is definitely not a small contact. It looks like Ronald Walker definitely got a massive gain coming out of turn 2. Lechty wasn't expecting it. Ronald Walker might have sustained a little bit of damage as well out of that. So now we'll see how pit stops happen. So now we're going to look at David Wessel. He was the race leader coming into pit lane. He's going to beat his teammate out. He's also going to beat Christina Espinosa out. Kurachenko with an amazing pit stop. She'll move to 4th. Then it is Gerard Perth drops down to 5th. Tyler Parker, Astrid Crane, Cameron Jackson loses a couple positions, and it's Lucian Lachapelle, Kaylee Zappa, Simona Leroux, Esther Hoffson, Keisha Fox. Make sure you guys don't spin each other out this time. And it's Kimitsu Kenoshita, Porter Kelly, Cody Blackman, and Cole Lechty spent a little bit of time in pit lane. Ron Walker spent more time in pit lane. So look at the Chevrolet Camaro pace car as everyone gets ready to come in. Isabel Espinosa coming in. She's a lap down. So she's going to come in and get fresh tires. She's still going to be 20. She's going to be 19th position. So we're going to center to yellow for a couple more laps. So David Wessel leads once again, maintains the race lead. David Wessel leads. Andrew Draco second. Third place is Christina Espinoza. Fourth place is going to be Natalia Karachenko. Fifth place is Gerard Perth. Sixth place is Tyler Parker. Seventh place is Ashrew Crane. So some gains for both of them. Cameron Jackson lost two places on pit lane. So he's going to be restarting the race in 8th. 9th is Lucian Lachapelle. In his first race, he started 25th and last. And he's already made it up to the top 10. Pretty comfortable showing for the debutante from Annette, France. Kaylee Zappa rounds out the top 10. 11th is Simona Leroux. 12th is Esther Hofson. 13th is Keisha Fox. 14th is Kimitsu Kinoshita. 15th is Stephanie Porter Kelly, so she's gained a couple positions. Cody Blackman, 16th. Nicole Lectie, who was involved in the last yellow, 17th. Ronald Walker might have been the worst one off of the two between Lectie and him. He's sitting 18th and 19th. The last car running is Isabel Espinoza. She is one lap down. Patrick Marcelli, Kota Ray Taylor, Alicia Kovalkiewicz, Sakura Shibashi, Thomas Rogers, and Jesus Cristobal are all out of this race so far. We're almost halfway. Light on the pace car is off. Halfway is at the end of lap 74. So we're almost halfway through this one. We've had 3 cautions. It's been an interesting dynamic between both of the Phantom Motors cars. The rookie currently out racing the master. Andrew Draco being a mentor for David Wessel. And Wessel has an engine failure. And they all stack up. They all have to go somewhere. And now there's a crash. Wessel loses his engine right as they go green. The caution's back out. That's LaChapelle and... That was LaChapelle and Perth. Only a few cars got through. Christina Espinoza, Andrew Draco, Natalia Kurachenko, and Asher Crane. Those are the only 4 that got through. The rest of the field has to go by the pace car. That was a crazy restart, and we're under caution once more for the 4th time. Another Honda engine has expired, and that was the worst timed engine expiration that we've seen all season. Obviously, we're going to have to look at that on the replay. So you see some cars coming in the pit lane. It looks like Leroux, Perth, and LaChapelle are all going to have to come in the pit lane. Looks like Asher Crane's coming in the pit lane as well. Let's see if we can look back at that lap. Because the top three all checked out. You see, yeah, Crane got a piece of that. Asher Crane got a piece of that action. So she's going to have to come in for repairs, probably. So it's going to be an interesting question to see what happens with LaChapelle. LaChapelle tries to squeeze the gap. Perth doesn't expect him. And you see Simona Leroux also got a piece of it as well. So that changes a lot. David Wessel was one of the stronger looking cars. One of the strongest, more proficient drivers so far in the race. And now he's out of the race as well with another engine failure. Looks like it's another gearbox. You see how many gearbox failures there are. There's 1, 2, there's 3 gearbox-related failures. So whatever these drivers are doing so far in this race, they are tearing up gearboxes left, right, and center. So Christina Espinosa is finally going to inherit the race lead after what feels like ages. But she's going to have to defend from both Andrew Draco and Natalia Kurachenko. You see the best laps right now. It's Andrew Draco with the fastest lap. It's a 36.1. Christina Espinosa isn't even top 10. Christina Espinosa is not even... Looks like Espinosa is... Looks like Espinosa is actually a 4th fastest lap, but still 3 tenths off of Andrew Draco. So we're going to try it again. Had Asher Crane not been involved in that incident, she would have made off like a bandit. Second race in a row that Asher Crane has had an amazing position, but has had to give it up for one reason or another. At Valkenburg, it was a very bad pit stop. Pit stops were appalling at Valkenburg for multiple drivers. And she got tagged. She had front wing damage that she had to repair. And this time around, that had made her give up 4th. So the lights are out on the safety car. And we'll be going green at the end of this lap. It's Christina Espinoza, Andrew Draco, Natalia Kurochenko, Cameron Jackson, Kaylee Zappa, and Mitsuko Kenoshita, so Cat Devil Racing 4, 5, and 6. Esther Hofston 7th. Tyler Parker 8th. Keisha Fox 9th. Stephanie Porter-Kelly has made it all the way back up to 10th. So now it's not even a guarantee that Andrew Draco can get the points lead today if Porter-Kelly moves up any higher. Andrew Draco went from being okay sitting in second to now having to win this race to take the points lead away. But now there's a Striker Motorsports car able to deal some damage. She's looking to the inside of Draco now. And she clears him. Kurochenko to second. Further back, it's chaos. Parker, Hofston, and Kenosha sitting 3 wide. Hofston's going to be best of the 3 of them. Kenosha just keeps from losing any more position, stops the bleeding there. Keisha Fox looks to the outside, defends from Porter-Kelly. Draco's beginning to fall back. He's being challenged now by Kaylee Zappa. Cameron Jackson looks to the outside, making sure that he's able to pounce if Kaylee Zappa can't make anything happen. Zappa falls back in line, so Draco's holds 3rd. Striker Motorsports has one of the fastest cars in general. Porter-Kelly, Kurochenko, LaChapelle. LaChapelle was doing phenomenal up until that last yellow. Have to track to see where LaChapelle is at. See how much damage he may have received in that caution. Right now it is Christina Espinoza on point. Espinoza's one of the drivers that could kill the streak if she wins this time. She won at Texas not too long ago. That win at Texas put her back on track to possibly win another championship. So you've got 2 Hondas and a Mercedes sitting top 3 here. Mostly Hondas in the top 10. The best Alpine is sitting 8th. That's Keisha Fox. 3 Mercedes in the top 10. 2 of them are Striker. Ronald Walker's pulled himself in the top 10, possibly. It's obvious that Ronald Walker is carrying that team performances at the moment. But right now it is Christina Espinoza leading for a Scuderia Ghia. Striker Motorsports has Natalia Kurochenko sitting 2nd, then it's Phantom Motorsports Andrew Draco sitting in 3rd. It'll be interesting having the conversation with Jean-Claude Gabriel for what went wrong with Wessel's car. There's a car coming out of the pit lane. That is Tyler Parker. Well, we like to believe it's Tyler Parker. It is Parker. So now Tyler Parker's 1 lap down. So now he's going to have to battle with Isabel Espinoza. The 2 Apex cars are battling. Blackwell on the inside, Walker on the outside. Gerard Perth in this mix, so is Astrid Crane and Lucien LaChapelle. Nicole Lecty and Simona Leroux also in this group as well in the back. Isabel Espinoza trying to hunt down Tyler Parker. Top 5 are all kind of separated now. Still Espinoza leading. Then it's Kurochenko, Draco, Zappa, Jackson, and Hofston. For everyone just now tuning in, joining in after the halfway point. We've had several cars retire from the race. We had a huge crash on lap 4. We've had subsequent retirements for all gearbox issues. Patrick Marcelli, Ray Taylor, and David Wessel have retired. David Wessel retiring from the lead as we were going from a restart, which has given us Christina Espinoza as our race leader, with Natalia Kurochenko sitting in second, trying to give pursuit. Andrew Draco going to try to reclaim second. Inside line's not going to be where it happens. Kurochenko uses Espinoza's draft and will hold on to the position. Kelly Zappa sitting a bit further back and forth, and is Cameron Jackson in 5th. The closest battle happening right now is going to be for 6th between Hobson and Kenoshita. Kenoshita tried to make a pass happen, didn't work. Keisha Fox ended up getting by her. So Keisha Fox is now sitting in 7th. Asher Crane back up in the top 10. We talked about how unlucky Crane has been. She had to give up a second place finish and a chance for the race win with a bad pit stop in Valkenburg. Didn't have a lot of luck at Indianapolis. In her first race back at Texas, she could only manage a 15th. Seems like she's becoming more comfortable in that car as the race progresses. And we still do not know the status of Jace Clark, who could come back as early as Toronto. Not a lot of cars left on the lap. There's your race leader, Christina Espinoza. This is very, very reminiscent of the Battle of Texas. Battle of Texas was almost purely between Kurochenko and Christina Espinoza. Kurochenko was having to use a very interesting strap because of how much the tires were wearing at Texas. Espinoza had just had the right setup and could just walk away with it. But Kurochenko was definitely giving her a run for her money. No shenanigans, no hijinks, just racing. We're going to see how the Russian rookie holds up to one of the legends of Champ Car racing. Andrew Draco not far behind. It's once again coming down to being the top 3 and being the class of the field. Andrew Draco being a little bit impatient, continuing to try to use that inside line. Inside line just isn't going to work here. The track is just a fraction over 2 miles in length. Hence why we're doing 148 laps and not 150. Kurochenko uses that outside line and pulls away from Draco massively. Draco ends up having to almost give Kaylee Zappa some room to try to work and try to make it a 4-car race. A little bit of a gap now between Espinoza and Kurachenko. Kurachenko once again under fire from Draco. We're not too far away from lap 100. There's one more pit stop in this race. We've not yet had a run of green flag pit stops. Could that potentially change? Again, only 4 cars within earshot of the race lead right now. It is Espinoza, Kurachenko, Draco, and Kaylee Zappa for Cat Devil Racing. All 3 Cat Devil Racing cars, once again, making the most of the European leg, sitting in the top 10. Cameron Jackson sits 5th once again, and Valkenburg race winner Kimitsu Kenosha sits in 8th position. Steffi Kelly, who was involved in the accident on lap 4 involving Sakura Ishibashi among others, sits 9th. She entered the race as the points leader. That points gap is going to shrink significantly. But the damage has been limited. If her car is able to hold out the rest of this race without any gearbox issues, she could possibly keep the race lead. And Asher Crane, who was up as high as 4th, now sitting all the way back in 10th position. On her own, but ahead of the Apex Racing Team cars, as well as the 34 of Gerard Perth, the 78 of Simona Leroux, the 22 of Lucien Lachapelle, and the 81 of Nicole Lecter. You see, the only 2 cars 1 lap down are right behind Porter Kelly. That is Tyler Parker and Isabel Espinoza, both of them in very similar colors. The way to tell them apart is that Isabel Espinoza has a yellow number, and Tyler Parker's car is mostly white. As you can tell, Isabel Espinoza's car is mostly blue. There's no doubt about it that Porter Kelly's car is definitely not 100%, but it's enough right now for a 9th place finish. And every point counts. You see Kimitsu Kenosha and then Keisha Fox. You see Esther Hoffson in the really rich blue car sitting just ahead. All of this is for position. This is for 6th and 5th. Cameron Jackson not too far ahead of this group either. And then the significant gap all the way up to 10th, all the way up to 4th position with Kaylee Zappa. Something we learned a lot about in Valkenburg is that pit stops have not been a focal point for many teams. It'll be interesting to see if a pit stop issue happens in this final round of pit stops, which should be happening about 15 laps from now. Side by side is Kurachenko and Draco. Draco's going to try to make the inside work. Can he make it happen? Not in turn 2. He's going to end up having to give it up and go back. There you go, back to the normal line. Kurachenko stays 2nd, but the gap is beginning to open even more. Almost a solid 2nd as we start lap 100. Draco trying to make the inside work in vain. They pulled away from Kaylee Zappa. Kaylee Zappa's on her own now. Draco is trying desperately to make the inside work, try to get by Natalia Kurachenko. Some cars can make it happen. It doesn't seem like Draco's car can. You've got to force some sort of mistake. Draco's on her gearbox. Draco is as close as you'd like. Kurachenko's got the nose advantage here. But Draco can't drive it in as deep. Kurachenko can drive it in deeper and make it work because she's got the momentum coming out of the corner. So once again, in turn 3, Kurachenko has the momentum. At least Draco's learning that turn 3 is not the play. It's not how you're going to make a pass happen. You're going to have to make it happen before turn 3. But this battling between Kurachenko and Draco has given Cristina Espinosa a 1.5-second gap. Draco finally gets past Kurachenko, as you guys just saw. Now can Draco chase down Cristina Espinosa? We're on the final third of this race. The gap is beginning to close by 1/10 that time. Andrew Draco's trying to close it back down. That gap comes down even further, 0.2 that time, down to 1.1. This is shaping up to possibly be an amazing finish. We still have one cycle of pit stops left. Biggest question is going to be, is it going to be a green flag set of pit stops? That is where most of the changes can happen, and one bad pit stop can move you from 1st to 5th, or from 10th to 4th. The jumps can be insane. Strategy-wise, we have it's a very blank slate. We don't know if an undercut's the right idea or if it's an overcut that's the right idea. We don't know what the strategy is going to end up being for the drivers that come in. Who's going to come in first? Who's going to stay out the longest? But it is going to be an absolutely scary event. Gap is stagnated at 1.1. Coming to 40 to go. Draco just simply has to be within a second coming into pit lane to make sure that he's got the best window of opportunity to possibly jump Espinosa in the pit lane. You also have to ensure that you have a good pit stop. If you have a slow pit stop, even if it's a second slow, that second is almost 2 seconds on track. It's a lot of time. Gap is slowly coming down, 0.5 there. This is where the bubble of air is. This is where it's hardest to work through. Once you get within a second, it becomes a lot easier to just slipstream and get close to the car in front. But you've got to get through this little bubble of dirty air where all of the air disperses in different directions. Seems like he's done that. He's getting a lot closer this time. He's pulled away from Kurachenko. He's pulled away massively. Half a second gone. He is within firing range of Cristina Espinosa. All he has to do is sit put. Sit tight and let the pit stops do their job. We know that one more set of green flag pit stops are coming. And they could be coming anytime in the next 10 laps. For everyone tuning in, this is the Allianz 300 from the EuroSpeedway Lausitz, the last race on the Lausitz Oval before it is decommissioned to be used as a test facility. Cristina Espinosa is coming in the pit lane this time. Espinosa blinks first. So Draco's going to lead a lap, making the most of the draft that he was able to get. Now it's going to be a matter of when Draco pits. The cycle has begun. If a caution comes out now, it is doom for Cristina Espinosa. Coming through turn 2 is Andrew Draco. Is he going to stay out this time? He is going to stay out another lap. He's going to try to overcut. There's Espinosa in the pit lane now. Draco's going by. So there's Draco through turn 1. Espinosa is just now exiting pit lane. So Espinosa is firmly a lap down. Most of the field has come in for pit stops. Draco's the only one left out. He's coming in now. So now it's going to be a really big deal to see who comes out when. There's Cristina Espinosa. Isabel Espinosa's coming in now. Tyler Parker's one lap down. Did Espinosa have a good enough pit stop? We do not know yet. She had a better stop than Kurachenko. Big question is Andrew Draco. Did he have a good enough stop? He's coming out of pit lane now. Draco could have done it. Espinosa's coming out of turn 3 now. Draco's out of pit lane, coming up to speed. Did Draco just overcut? He has done it. Draco overcut and has inherited the lead of this race. Now he's got to defend from Espinosa, who's going to be hot on his trail. The overcut was the play. It was the strategy. But Espinosa's coming. Espinosa's got warm tires. We're on lap 115 of 148. You see Espinosa's on the gearbox at Andrew Draco. Hot on the gearbox. Espinosa looking to the bottom. Can Espinosa make it happen? She couldn't make it happen that time. Andrew Draco has not yet won a race this season. His last race win was at Texas in 2018. It'd be an amazing feeling for Andrew Draco to get the race win now. Porter Kelly is up to 7th. But that would not be enough. As it stands, Andrew Draco would still take the points lead. But Andrew Draco has to win. "30 laps remaining in the Allianz 300. It's Andrew Draco leading Christina Espinosa. It's a battle that we've been waiting for quite some time. We're finally getting it. Espinosa won at Texas this year. Both of them are trying to jump themselves into the championship picture in a big way. If you look further back, there's Kurachenko sitting in for 3rd. Then it's Kaylee Zappa 4th. Keisha Fox is up to 5th. Cameron Jackson 6th. Then it's Stephanie Porter Kelly sitting 7th. Porter Kelly has the ability to possibly get into the top 5. If she were to do that, she could negate this loss massively. She'd still lose the points lead by 1 point. But she needs to get to 5th. You have Esther Hofson sitting in 8th. 9th is Kimitsu Kenosha. 10th is Astrid Crane. Crane sitting safely in 10th. Lucian Lachapelle on his debut, sitting 11th. Then it's Simona Leroux 12th. Cody Blackman 13th. 14th is Ronald Walker. 15th is Gerard Perth, the last running Ellen competition car. And then Nicole Lechty sitting in 16th, the last car in the lead lap. All eyes, however, for the field are on Andrew Draco. The pack grandstands here in Lausitz. Tyler Parker's 2 laps down. Starting lap 122 of 148. Espinosa's gotten nowhere. She's staying really hot on Draco's gearbox. Draco's pulling a little bit of a gap. Have to believe that Espinosa might be managing her tires a little bit to try to give it one last push near the end of the race. What a strategic race this has become. While Draco leads, battle for 5th is getting really intense. Stephanie Porter Kelly right on the gearbox of Cameron Jackson. Almost pushing Jackson through that corner, trying to get him up to Keisha Fox. Cameron Jackson just might clear Fox. Going into turn 2. He'll do so with ease. Thanks to Porter-Kelly. I think that backfired compared to Porter-Kelly was hoping for. And now Cameron Jackson's 5th. Keisha Fox is right back on him. That's going into turn 1. You see the gap between the leaders. Draco's half a second ahead of Christina Espinoza. Keisha Fox gets the inside with ease and makes the pass happen, so Keisha Fox back up to 5th. And this is a battle for top 5. This is important for Porter-Kelly because if she can get to 5th place, she can keep the points championship within 1 point. As of right now, it's, I believe, 5 points away. The car behind this group is Isabel Espinoza. She is 1 lap down. She is not a factor in this as far as position is concerned. .22 laps to go at the moment. There's the race leader going into turn 3. Coming out of turn 3 now to start lap 128. 21 laps to go at the line. Tires are going to be super worn at the end of this race. Grip is going to be paramount. Looks like Andrew Drake's going to be using Nicole Leckie as a pick. Former teammates when they raced the Black Rose Racing together. Leckie's still on the team. Draco went on the new pastures. Draco's going to move to the inside. And he's going to pass Leckie with ease. Now it's going to be on Espinoza to try to make something happen. Leckie's a wounded car, so Leckie's not going to be able to hold up too long with Draco here. Should be relatively easy for Espinoza to get by. Battle for top 10 is about to intensify a little bit. Espinoza's gotten by Nicole Leckie. There's the battle for 10th. Crane sitting at 10th. LaChapelle sitting at 11th. It'll be a sweet moment if LaChapelle get a top 10 on his debut. Asher Crane trying to make the most of her opportunity. We have no idea how many races she's got on Black Rose Racing. We know she's got 2 through Asgreaves Racing. That's Pocono and Fontana. But we don't know how many races until Jace Clark comes back from injury. LaChapelle trying to make the inside work. Can't make it happen here. More pressure has to be applied to that of Asher Crane. Yeah, Keisha Fox sitting in 5th position. Cameron Jackson, Duffy Porter Kelly, and then that of Tyler Parker. Esther Hobson sitting in 8th, sorry. Kimmy Tsukuyoshi is sitting in 9th. They're not far away from this group here. You see the gap, it's almost 1 second even. So people have to monitor the gap here. "13 laps to go here in Lausitz. See, doing 3 wide with the lap guard, trying to make something happen. Porter Kelly's currently got the favored run over Cameron Jackson here. It's not going to stick, and now Hobson and Kenosha are in the draft. Now it's a 5-car party. It's going to be an interesting battle over 3rd here. See if Natalia Kurchenko can get by Lekti. Zappa was a bit overambitious there, so she's going to lose time. And that gap's still expansive as there's come to 10 to go. Leonard Walker is next on the list to be lapped. LaChapelle takes 10th. Now Gray's got to defend from Perth. Crane has definitely got issues. She just lost 2 positions in 1 lap. See, Andrew Draco's gotten by not Christina Espinosa, but Ron Walker. Christina Espinosa has to do it now. You can see Espinosa's going to try to get past Walker here. Turn 2. Does it stick? Not all the way. This just about seals the deal for Andrew Draco. Four laps to go this time. Looking at an end of an era here in Germany. An era that started over 2 decades ago with the construction of the EuroSpeedway Lausitz. Started hosting events in the late 1990s. A lot of different memories. And this race is sure to be one of them. Almost 3 seconds is now the gap between Draco and Espinosa. Two laps to go. And Andrew Draco has a 3.2 second lead. A stellar move to pull an overcut in the last set of pit stops. And management of lap traffic has sealed the deal. Rounding turn 3. Andrew Draco comes to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Through turn 1 for the final time. Almost 4 seconds the gap now. A final lap for the race leader. Through turn 2. It's been over a year since Andrew Draco has won. Over 2 years since Andrew Draco has won. Out of turn 3 for the final time. Andrew Draco wins in Lausitz. Christina Espinosa in second place. Natalia Kurachenko brings home a podium in third. Kaylee Zappa fourth. Cameron Jackson fifth. Esther Hobson sixth. Keisha Fox dropped to seventh. Porter Kelly dropped to eighth position. Valkenburg race winner Kimitsu Kenosha sits ninth. Gerard Perth finishes 10th. LaChapelle on his debut 11th. Asher Crane 12th. 13th is Cody Blackman. 14th is Simona Leroux. And the name is the driver's on the lead lap. Simona Leroux finishing 14th. Ron Walker 15th. 16th, Isabel Espinoza. A very disappointing race for her. Equally disappointing for Nicole Lechty, sitting 17th. Last finisher is Tyler Parker in 18th position, 2 laps down. Then you have David Wessel 19th. Patrick Marcelli 20th. Ray Taylor 21st, all with gearbox failures. And then the final 4. Jesus Cristobal, Sakura Shibashi, Thomas Rogers, and Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Alicia Kovalkiewicz was transferred to a local medical facility in Klettwitz. We do not have any update on her condition. Horizon Corporation and local officials will release a statement when that is available. Obviously, our thoughts are with Kovalkiewicz, as well as her team and her family at the moment, and we hope we have some good news soon. It's an end of an era here in Lausitz. Almost 25 years of racing. But that era comes to an end this year. Audi will be using it as a test venue for their vehicles, whether it is for their open wheel cars, or the touring cars, or their endurance racers. This will be their hub of operations for testing here in Germany. Whether for good or for bad, it's a memorable circuit. We hope you enjoyed this race. 148 laps, 300 miles of action. Andrew Draco comes away with the win. 9th different winner out of 9 races. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be in Toronto. The streets of Exhibition Place. We hope you join us then. So for the AT&T Champ Car World Series, I'm Clayton Hardy, and we'll see you next time.